The Hebrew calendar has a lot of New Years. We know of two, most people know about two, at least. We have Nisan, which is the first month of the year, so right before Pesach and in the springtime. We have Rosh Hashanah, which is known as, the New Year of the world, or the birthday of the world, or, they talk about this in the Talmud. And then there is Tu B'Shvat, which is the New Year of the trees. So Nisan is also known as the New Year of the Kings. It's when you would count another year in the reign of a sovereign of some sort. So we have New Year of the trees, we have the New Year of the Kings, we have the New Year of the world, and then we have the first of Elul, which is the New Year of the animals, the Behemoth. So it is a little known thing, but it is the date on which one would count their animals, and mostly, livestock. So you're talking about goats and sheep and cows and whatever everybody herded. Donkeys, yeah, maybe donkeys. Anyway, you would count those animals, and we're thinking about that, why that made sense in the calendar. And it's like, we've just come through the summer, like the really hot time. Most of the animals, many of the animals give birth in the spring, as we know from Pesach. We do a lamb sacrifice. And by the end of the summer, we may have lost some, both to predators or to heat or whatever. And so this is a good time to count the animals before we head into the fall season, into the winters, rainy times. And it's also, so out of that, we would count the animals in order to tithe, which is that 10%. And we talked about that in the Parsha, I think last week, about tithing to the Kohanim and to the divine. 1/10 of one's wealth would go toward that. So this is that time of year. This is
towards the widow and orphan.
Right, toward all those people we're supposed to feed out of our generosity and our wealth. So today is that day. It's the New Year of the animals, and it's specifically the Hemot, which is the cattle and such, not the Haya, not the wild animals. We don't talk necessarily about the wild animals. In terms of counting, we don't go out and count all our rabbits and birds in the backyard. We might count our chickens though, but not before they hatch. So we're gonna count all of our livestock, and we're gonna figure out how much we have, and we're gonna figure out what 1/10 of that is, and we're gonna offer it up. Most of us are not farmers these days in the city. Some of us have livestock, goats or chickens or whatever. But we do have other animals to look to. And so this being the New Year of the animals, the first of Elul, I mean, this is the symbol, right? The ram's horn. We have this animal that we start to sound today. And we do that every day for the month of Elul, to both prepare ourselves for Teshuvah, but also to strengthen our lip so that we can blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, because it's a lot of calls. It's 100 calls, right? It's a lot. So we're probably not going to do the full set today, because this is our first time. I mean, we've blown on it a couple times this week, but it's the first time we really picked it up in a year. There's a lot of associations with Elul, and we'll go over that throughout the month as you continue to come back every day for the shofar sounding, if you're able. But yeah, let me just talk a little bit more about animals. We think about cattle. We think about animals in the Torah. What's the first thing you think about when you think about livestock in the Torah?
Scapegoat.
The ram.
Right. We got the ram in the thicket. Right. We've got the ram in the thicket. We've got the scapegoats at Yom Kippur. We have
Balaam's talking donkey.
Oh, the talking donkey. I hadn't thought about that one. Yeah, the talking donkey, which is Balaam was not actually a Hebrew, but he had a donkey that could see angels, so that's pretty cool. We have the cattle in Egypt, where the Pharaoh had the dream with the 7 skinny cows and the 7 fat cows, and Joseph was able to determine what that meant, and so that gave him great power in Egypt, which brought us into Egypt, which then hilarity ensued. But after that, yeah, Roz, what you got? Wait, you're on mute. You're muted. Hold on.
So the ritual of the kaporot, but I don't know if that's biblical or not, if that's in the Bible anywhere, but it's chickens.
Chickens, right. There's divination for sure with animals.
Yeah.
There's Samson and the lion.
Right, that's a wild animal.
Yes.
But he used the jawbone of an ass to kill a bunch of people. So many animals. And back in the day, back in Torah times, and not even that long ago, we were much more connected to like the earth and to our animals. We lived with our animals. There is a midrash. I don't know if it's actually written in Talmud or anything, about how one of the reasons why the firstborn were slain in Egypt is because the Hebrews, the Israelites, lived above their animals. So they had their animals on the first floor and they would sleep in lofts above, and the Egyptians tended to sleep on the floor. Especially the firstborn would sleep next to the bed of the father. And so if there was like a giant gas that came down from a volcanic activity, which seems like it may have happened, that gas would have killed all the firstborn of the Egyptians, but not of the Hebrews. But of course, we slay the lamb and put its blood on the doorpost so that the angel of death will pass over us during Pesach. The first letter of the alphabet is the head of a cow, right? If in Paleo Hebrew, it just looks like the head of a cow. And so it represents cattle. It's that number one thing. And so, but the totem of the Hebrew people, the Jewish people, is the goat or the sheep, right? That's our animal. That's what we use. Because during Abraham's trial, during the Akedah, a ram came that was then offered up in place of Itzhak. Of course, the lamb of Pesach, the scapegoats, and the 2 goats. We have 2 goats that go out into the wilderness. And then the Torah scroll, right? It's written on animal skin, right? It's parchment. I watched a little video about it the other day to learn more about what animals are. It can be any kosher animal, it turns out, but very frequently sheep and goat. And it's a whole process. Like they wash them and they flatten them out, they stretch them and they cut them and then they score them, and just like the whole process of making a Torah is you're quite in touch with the animals when you're doing this.
And the mezuzah as
right?
well.
Also, the mezuzah scroll is also a parchment, right? So we've got all these different animals all around us that we're so out of touch with. Like we used to, when people used to make stuff like that, that was their animal that they used. When we used to eat animal food from animals, it was our animals that we slaughtered ourselves or brought to be slaughtered. We're very, very disconnected, I think, these days, but we still have the ram's horn. And for those of you who've been close to a ram's horn when it's being blown, it smells like sheep's. It smells like goats. We have these amazing horns that David brought us from Africa. So we have a kudu that is, oh my gosh, they're so smelly. But he had these commissioned, some of them commissioned for us as shofarot. This one that Howard's holding is this beautiful pink color. I don't know if you can see it. It's just this gorgeous rose color. And it has got a hole in the side because it's an African vuvuzela. It's an African kudu horn. So we're gonna play that today. I'm gonna play my old-fashioned ram's horn. Layla's got the ram's horn there, it looks like. You're breaking up a little bit.
This is from the Fiber Festival, from a Jacob sheep.
Nice.
And I tried making it myself. I don't quite have the mouthpiece yet. Maybe I could get some advice. I bet you could get good sound out of it. I can't much, but I love these.
I love how stripy it is. It's very good.
And I didn't raise it myself, but I bought it from the farmer.
Wow, that's pretty close. It's pretty close.
So if anyone ever wants to play around with those.
Yeah. So the shofar can be made from any kosher animal. So that means a kudu, any kind of antelope, a ram. I mean, if
But not a cow.
cows do not have the right kind of horns, they need to be hollow.
And it reminds us of
And
the
it
golden
reminds
calf.
us of the golden calf, because the golden calf is the big, right?
'Cause
That's the
you
big
can
calf.
you can make a horn out of a cow's horn,
True, that's true.
but we don't.
So we have this.
Also, you could technically use a deer antler,
Yeah.
but they're a very peculiar shape.
Yeah,
and
that
it'd
would be
much
pretty
harder.
hard. So we have the golden calf, which is, one of those animals in the Torah that's pretty significant. In fact, it's the only cow that's mentioned in the Jewish Encyclopedia of Symbols, which is interesting. But we also have the red heifer, which is sort of the expiation for the golden calf, but very similar. Interestingly, the red heifer is used, the ashes of the red heifer are used to cleanse people from the tumah of a corpse. So you have to slaughter the heifer and then burn it all up with various elements, and then that makes you unclean, but then you use the ashes to make yourself clean again. It's very paradoxical. Today I am wearing a wool sweater because it's a little chilly in Portland. I have my feather earrings, and this one has actually got a bone on it, which I've chosen to wear this morning, and a necklace that was given to me that's got a butterfly wing in it. And so I'm trying to
I have a silk shirt
made out of
the
worms.
cocoons of the mulberry moth.
That's very cool. So that's my little covenant today about the Elul and the New Year of the animals. And now we're gonna do some shofar sounding. I'm gonna stand up to do this, and Diane's gonna do our calls, and hopefully the sound will be good.
Okay, I assume we're just doing we didn't talk about this, the 3 sets, the 3 short sets, right?
Short sets. Yeah, we don't want to do.
No, you don't want to do the whole thing. Just doing the 3 short sets.
We'll play whatever you call.
Yeah, we'll play what you
But
call
keep it
as
short.
long as we can.
Okay, you ready?
Oh.
Tikiya. Shivarim Tra. Tikiya. Tikiya. Shivarim. Tikiya. Tikiya. Trua. Tikiya. I told you I had a substitute. Shofar.
It's made out of old diatoms and dinosaurs, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Animals, not kosher, but nonetheless, we'll take it.
Well, you know what? The other thing I had said is I should have brought one of the plastic shofarot with me. It also wouldn't be a kosher shofar.
That's true. That's true.
And so that was what inspired me to have my own plastic shofar,
Plastic shofar, very
the
nice.
Italian version.
Oh, I like your little shofar, Roz, with you hit the shofar reaction tab. That's great.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well,
Thank you, everyone.
I appreciate you all being here today. And we will be doing this every morning during Elul, except for Shabbat. So show up any day you can at 11:30. We'll give a little kavanah about what's going on that day.
11:30 Pacific time.
Pacific time for those of you in other times.
Unless you're in Europe, then it's 8:30 at night.
That's good to know. Did the sound
About to eat dinner.
sound good today? Were you able to hear it? Yeah, good, excellent. Because sometimes it blasts out and it
was good.
cancels, but I had my settings right. So yeah, we'll be Chodesh Tov, everybody. This is amazing. We're already in Elul. I can feel the weather changing. It's cold, which is
Brisk.
lovely. Brisk. Yeah, I love it. We'll try to do this outside. Yeah, if you're gonna eat some animals, make sure you live a good life in their honor. If you're gonna pet some animals, just pet them and
I'm contemplating creating a first of Elul Seder, like we have the 4 different plants we eat on Tu B'Shvat that we eat. Eat a fish, a chicken, a mammal, and a cake made of cricket flowers. So we have
Grasshoppers, yeah.
those are all kosher.
But we'll all, yeah.
I'll make sure I'm in Italy for that one.
You will not partake of
You're
that.
not invited.
You know, there's
You can come.
some people actually go vegetarian for the month of Elul because of the animals, and that's not my minhag. But if that feels right to you, to feel like you are doing a kind of a mini fast in order to prepare yourself for Teshuvah, knock yourself out, do it.
Hey,
Right,
see you all tomorrow.
Chodesh Tov.
Tov.